Good morning and welcome back to my channel Travel to Be Happy. It's another day and time for another journey. This time I'm going from Toronto to Halifax, that is taking the train ride to the east coast of Canada. If you remember, last year around same time I took a train ride from Toronto to Vancouver, and once I complete my journey to Halifax, then I would have completed my coast to coast train ride in Canada, which personally for me it's no less than an achievement. The time right now is 7 a.m. and I am here in downtown Toronto. I am quite excited about this journey for multiple reasons. First and foremost, it's a train ride and I really enjoy doing the train rides. Secondly, I'm taking the business class from Toronto to Montreal on the Via Rail, and it's my first time taking a train ride on the business class, so I'm excited about that. Obviously, next leg of my journey, that is from Montreal to Halifax, it is in a sleeper coach, which would be my first time again. So there are many reasons to be excited, and I surely am. I have more than enough time. My train from here to Montreal departs at around 8:30, and I have close to 1.5 hours. So I will go and check out the business lounge to which I have an access. But before I go in, I want to give you an overview of the place where I'm standing. And here is the Union Station at downtown Toronto. You can see the CN Tower, the financial district, and the Royal York Hotel right in front of me. Alright, it's the time to go and check out the business lounge. Here is the interior of Union Station, and as you can tell, it is fairly Victorian style architecture. So let's go in and see where the business lounge is. Alright, it's right here. The train I'm taking to Montreal, it's number 62, and it leaves from gate 17 at 8:32 a.m. And by the way, this is my first time in the business lounge here at Toronto Union Station, so I'm excited to explore how it looks like. One thing I can tell for sure, it's quite spacious. Okay, there is a business center here to access computer and printers and do your work. That's quite nice. The washroom is small, but it's clean. It's still very early in the morning, that's why the place is not crowded. The only snacks I see here are apples, and besides that, it's only coffee and some non alcoholic beverages. So I'll go and grab a coffee for myself. While I wait here in the lounge, let me share with you some information about my trip. So my journey from Toronto to Montreal would take about 5 hours, and it would cover a distance of close to 300 miles. My train is expected to arrive in Montreal at close to 1:30 p.m. and the next leg of my journey, that is from Montreal to Halifax, the train would depart around 7 p.m. and is expected to reach Halifax at 6 p.m. tomorrow. My journey from Montreal to Halifax would cover a distance of about around 800 miles. So overall, my journey from Toronto to Halifax would be 1100 miles or close to 1850 kilometers. In terms of the price, I have paid close to 800 Canadian dollars including taxes, depending on what time of the year you want to travel and how early you book your journey, and obviously in which class. I believe the minimum you would pay would be close to $300 from here, Toronto to Halifax. So, if you are traveling in the economy class, I believe the fare would be comparable to what you would pay on the flight. But obviously, train journey has its own own charm, has its own benefit of exploring the places that you cannot do it on the plane. As I had mentioned, my purpose behind doing the train journey to Halifax is to cover the coast to coast train ride in Canada, and it is something I'm really excited to do and wanted to do it since last year. So the time has come now. So while I'm in Halifax, my plan is to stay there for 4 days and do some sightseeing. Afterwards, I will go to Charlottetown and explore 4-5 days there, and then I'm taking a flight back to. So it's the time to board. Now I'm leaving the business lounge and going to board my train to Montreal. And I just realized that within an hour, this place has become quite crowded. Nevertheless, it's the time to start my journey to the east coast of Canada. I have finally arrived in the business car, and this is how the layout looks like. It's in 2-to-1 configuration. This is the seat in front of me, and this is the table, and it's foldable. The table is quite sturdy. The seats are really good. The only thing I am not able to see yet is a power outlet, so I have to ask someone and see where that is. This is the washroom in the business class. It's spacious and it's clean. Here is my seat. Here in the car we have overhead space to put in our bags, and I have put both of my bags there. And finally I figured out where the power outlets are, so it's here, and I should be able to charge my phone. The masks are still mandatory on the via rail, so I have to keep my mask on the entire time. It is what it is. The car is not full. I would say there are about 15 or 20 people, so I don't know throughout rest of the journey how it's going to be, or if someone is going to sit across me. So it's the time to sit back and relax. So it's 8:32 a.m. and we just departed downtown Toronto, and as the train started moving I realized that my seat 3S, which is in front of you, is backward facing. So I have come to the opposite seat, which is 4S. So until the time someone else comes here, I'll sit here and enjoy the scenery. Very soon we will be leaving the city of Toronto and entering the suburbs. By the way, I changed my seat from 3S to 13S. The reason being, someone was supposed to come and sit on the forward facing seat where I was sitting earlier. Hence I thought it would be a good idea to change my seat once and for all, and that's why I have moved to a forward facing seat. as you can tell. So just now the catering staff, they served some beverages. So the options they had were tea, coffee, water and orange juice. So I got myself an orange juice. Within 30 minutes of the departure, we got served with bagels, and alongside the options were jam, butter or cream cheese. I got myself a cream cheese. What I find impressive is the cutlery is silverware and the bagels are served on china. So it's not like plastic cutlery or plastic plates. Meanwhile, these are the surroundings we are passing by, and in next 4 to 5 minutes we should be reaching the city of Oshawa. What you are seeing right now is Lake Ontario, and it is one of the 5 Great Lakes on the border of US and Canada. And as you can tell from the view, it's huge. The meal service has just started, and the time right now is 11:45 a.m. I went ahead with the vegetarian option, so it has rice and some sorted veggies with bread and a dessert. Also there was alcohol, but I didn't take it. So for your information, the meal is included in the price of ticket for the business class, so I didn't pay anything extra for this. Okay, so here I am in Montreal, and this is my second visit in this city. The last time I came here, it was in March 2018, and I have close to 4.5 hours before my next train, the ocean to Halifax. So here is the thing, there is a business lounge right across where I am sitting. I have checked with the staff that around 5:30 I have to back at this place, and there is a desk which says the ocean, so I have to come there and check myself in and give my dinner preference. The baggage which I got with me, I have kept that in the storage area which is behind me. Maybe I will go outside, do some sightseeing. Now I'm exiting the station. Let's see what's out there. Hello Montreal. So that's the station building where I came out. Don't know much about the city except for few basic things, that Montreal is the largest city in the province of Quebec and second most populous city in Canada. It has a population of close to about 1.8 million. Looks like there will be some kind of concert here tonight. The preparation seems to be underway. Before I go any further and explore Montreal, my quote unquote review of the train journey I did from Toronto to here. As you may have seen in the video, wasn't much of scenic views. It's mostly woods, um, some lakes, Lake Ontario certainly we saw along the way. Now, did I have to do that journey instead of starting here in Montreal and going to Halifax? Certainly not. The only reason I took the journey was because I wanted to complete my coast to coast travel on the train, and there is no direct train between Toronto to Halifax, as I said earlier. So that's why I prefer to do the journey from Toronto to here. Now, that being said, the next leg of my journey is expected to be more scenic, and which is probably the highlight of my train trip from Toronto, but we'll see how it goes. My point of view regarding the service on the train, it's not necessary to be in the business class, since it's only 5.5 to 6 hours journey. It can easily be done in the economy class. The food was okay, I wouldn't say it was great, but one thing which I would certainly say about the Via train staff, they are extremely nice. I really appreciate that. I had similar experience when I went to Vancouver last year. Staff was really nice, provided great service, and I had similar experience today also. My overall experience was positive. Even though it's expensive, I don't remember exactly how much I paid, because I booked the journey all the way from Toronto to Halifax. I am assuming the fare from Toronto to here will be around $150 to $200, which is certainly more expensive than economy class, but it's personal preference. I wanted to travel in via business class, so that's why I chose that. I would reiterate, it was a positive experience, more than because of the services, but because of the staff which was taking care of us. So that's my quote unquote verdict on the train journey from Toronto to Montreal. If you have completed this train journey, so do let me know how was your experience and where you think we could have done a better job. Stay tuned for the rest of the day.